Okay, hello everyone. So first of all, let's start with the congratulations. So everyone who has passed this exam. Yeah, today's the day, to celebrate as well. Like if you want, you can turn on your video. That's up to you, not a problem in that case. Especially those are male, person here. I would request if you can turn on your video, Dr. Probi, I can see then others, like it's up to you actually. So it's like a very closed room. So that's fine. I'll give you guys a copy as well in our March and February group so no one will see us actually in that way. So it will look more familiar if you, because in AMC part 2, we do classes with turning on the video. So if you can, that's fine, in next 1 minute, that's all right. But if you can't do, that's also okay in that case. Great. So, yeah. So we have few people, it's totally up to you, because it's very close room. So we request if you can turn on a video and looks familiar actually. So first of all, I would like to start with congratulating all of you by saying congrats on passing AMC part 1. I can see a lot of familiar faces like Dr. Suresh is here, Dr. Probir is here, Dr. Sophia, then Grammar. Many others are here as well. You can see. So we'll not take much time, but we'll just like to take 1-2 minutes to hear from all of you. How's your experience in the exam, or if anything unusual, or how it went? So I'll start with Dr. Probir. How are you doing, Dr. Probir? All good. Can you unmute your mic, Dr. Probir? Yeah. Great. If you want, you can turn on your video as well. We don't mind if you don't mind. Yeah. So it will look more familiar today, if you can talk with, face to face, that'll be nice. But that's okay. We can. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate you. How are you doing? So how's the days are going? After 6 months, 8 months long journey, how days are going?
First of all, thank you so much. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, audible. Yeah, call me Dr. Sharia. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Actually, last few months, like 8 or 9 months, I took that time for preparation.
All right.
Was a bit hectic.
Very hectic.
Very hectic actually.
Yeah, others can also add, others can also add points. Guys, it's like not a class today, it's like a closed room discussion, just only those past candidates of last month. So others can also add on the top, while Dr. Probir is telling few things, I'll share a few things. Others can also add your version. It's not like when Dr. Probir is talking, others cannot talk. So let's make it as like a gossip room, actually. Yes. So, okay, continue, Dr. Probir. Sorry for cutting down. Yeah.
Yes, all right. So, especially the last 2 months before exam was very, very difficult.
What was your study hour? By the way, if you don't mind now revealing. So how many hours, in last 2 months?
Last 2 months, 8 to 10 hours I tried.
No, that's like standard. Yes. Yeah. We usually in the class we tell like 5 hours, but we also mention that, especially before exam, if it is possible, 8 hours actually. Because it's maximum. So you did well actually. And how many years of recall you finished? Overall by solving, and what was the method you were using? That only class things, of course that's not the thing. You also need to improvise the things that we recommend. You had a study partner, right, as well?
Yes, I have study partner.
Yeah,
Sophia now was my study partner.
Yeah, I can see her as well. Yeah, so to talk to her soon as well. Yeah, no problem. That's fantastic actually. Anything? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
2 years, last 2 years recall from your recalls file. That was very helpful, as all the questions answer and their supporting information was there all together.
Right.
So if that was not collected together, it was difficult to finish 2 years recall in that time.
Okay. And tell me about your daily routine, like, when you get up and when actually you study. Since Dr. Sophia is your star, but Dr. Sophia, can you be online? So maybe.
Yes, mentor, I'm here.
Yeah. So I think, okay, maybe in this very nearby two devices, I think maybe one can cut it down actually. Yeah. So I think Dr. Pravir can continue. I think if in the same place, I think maybe same laptop you can use for talking. That's fine.
Hello?
Yeah. I can see a lot of echo actually. Yeah. That's okay. Maybe Dr. Pravir can continue. We'll come to Dr. Sophia after in a while. Yeah.
Oh, okay, doctor. Thank you. So I was studying full time. Actually, I didn't join any
Right.
job. Just after finishing my internship, I thought that at least I should give 8 to 9 months for this. I want to take a dedicated preparation. Like this is a costly exam. So if I fail once, it will be very difficult to reappear
It will be
again.
difficult. Yes, that's very important.
So
And
I didn't want to take any risk.
No, makes
That's
sense. Yeah, and you did well. Congratulations for that
Yes.
again. That you did well. I mean, everything as you plan. So I can
Yes.
say that everything as you plan, it went smoothly. I think that's maybe also a little same version for Dr. Sophia. I think same batchmates, I think.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So that's really nice to hear actually. So Dr. Sophia is online as well. So Dr. Sophia, so anything you like to add in this preparation?
Yeah, I was very nervous about my preparation because I didn't have that much knowledge regarding all the exam and
Yeah,
medicine,
I
especially. I was
remember
very
when you guys came, you guys were, I mean, just intern. I mean, very fresh graduates actually. Yeah. So
yes.
when you came and you just have a plan that okay. So we made a plan that okay, during intern, we'll give some support if necessary, and the plan was to finish early, just after the internship. You can see, many others they decide very late in their
Yes.
life about the exam. But very good, congratulations also on that you took a decision during your internship and you finished it. That's the
And
thing. So
one thing, I actually want thank you for this. You actually geared a lot. Uh, Fresh
no,
graduates,
thank you.
no. It's really very hard to take any decision and that we have to do
Yes.
this. You actually helped in that. I'm actually thankful to you for
Yeah,
this
thank you so much.
especially.
No, yeah, the thing is, see, time flies. A lot of doctor we because a lot of call we get, a lot of discussion happens with a lot of people. Many time it happens even like when the message. Sometimes again the message after even 1 year, 2 year, because they couldn't decide actually. To be honest, by that time you can actually finish the exam. And about AMC1, now the good thing is about AMC1, it is valid for lifetime. It is not like PLAB 2 or there is no time barrier like for MRCP that even if you take some more time, it will be invalid. So this will be for your lifetime. Okay, so this is a really good point actually, regarding the exam. So thank you, Dr. Sophia, for adding those points actually, because preparation is kind of, I guess, similar. So we'll hear from more other doctor from like, let's see, Dr. Dikshit. Yeah, I like to invite. So thank you, Dr. Sophia. I will get back again to you. So Dr. Suresh,
Hello.
how are you doing? Hello,
Good
doctor.
evening,
How are you?
Doctor.
Good evening. Good
Great,
evening.
Dr.
How are
Rana.
you?
I'm
Yes.
so thankful, and let me start by saying this. When
No
I
worries.
decided on AMC, and I literally didn't have any idea about how to prepare for that.
Okay.
And I was searching Google, literally searching Google for how to prepare for AMC, and I stepped
Okay.
into Dr. Shahriar's Medical Academy, and that was one fortunate thing that I did, sir. I am so grateful
Okay.
for all the help and the guidance that you gave.
Destination finds you eventually.
Yes. So I don't have
Yeah.
words to express
Mhm.
my
No, that's
my
okay.
thanks to you, sir. because
No,
I
that's okay.
don't
I'm
know.
so happy
Like,
for
I
all of
don't have
you.
any batchmates. Usually from South India, not many doctors go abroad. Like especially Australia was never heard. Like most of them will be like
Hmm.
going to US or UK. They'll be like writing lab and everything. And what I wanted to do was like Australia, and the AMC was like a new thing for me. And all
Yeah,
my batchmates and colleagues, they were like hearing it for the first time, literally. And I
yeah.
was actually inspired by a friend whom I worked with, and then as soon as I contacted you, you immediately responded by asking me to join the class, and I was so happy because there was someone like when you are like in a state of confusion and you are waiting for a person to come and help you, and you
Mhm.
were there like God, literally. I
No,
didn't have
no.
anyone to tell me.
Yeah, no,
So,
that's okay.
like,
Like,
you have to take credits for that. I have to give you
yeah.
credits for that, and you have to take credits
Yeah, I
for that.
mean,
And
a
I'm
good thing I
so
can
thankful.
see. Yeah, good thing I can see. I know. I mean, I'm maybe good in like helping taking decision. Maybe So
Yes,
that's
yes, I was
yeah.
so,
All
I
right.
was
So
so
that's good.
relieved. I'm so
Yeah.
relieved.
Now,
And
how are you feeling
uh,
now? I mean, that's another thing. And how
I
are
am so excited, doctor. I'm so excited. I'm
yeah,
still not able to believe that okay, this is over. This
done.
one hurdle that I was about to
This
cross
is
is it's over.
I want to hear from others also this thing that during the exam, I'm telling my personal view that during exam, the exam was also painful. It's like a 3 hour exam, and it's
Yes.
in the middle of exam, it felt like okay, whatever happen will happen. Let's just this
Oh
exam
my
finish. Yeah, this is
God. Oh my. Sir, I have one thing to share with all of
yes.
my. And
Ah,
by the
okay,
way,
sure.
congrats to everyone who cleared AMC one. So
Ah, okay.
I was like almost 2.5 hours into my exam. So I was like burning my head, going everything. I was in the rhythm of answering the questions, and everything was fine till 2.5 hours. And this invigilator who was there at the exam center walks up to me and he tells me, "So we have to terminate your exam because you were breaking rules." And I was, oh my God, so literally, I didn't know what I was gonna do. And he literally took the response keyboard and mouse from me, and I literally thought
Hmm.
that was the end of everything. And
Okay.
I begged to him to give back the keyboard, and that was not a pleasant thing, doctor. It was extremely
Hmm.
stressful, and that 2 to 3 minutes, I begged for the keyboard, and he gave it back. And from then, I have no idea how I completed the exam, but I was hoping for the best results, and somehow God Almighty has blessed me with that great result. And of course, with your guidance and your uh, lecture notes, the classes, everything helped me. So thankful, so thankful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you can see
I'm
from your expression, you seem so happy, and
I'm
especially
so
it
happy.
was
I'm so
it was
excited.
about to be a blunder. I mean, you should
Yeah.
also yeah
Oh
in
my
the exam
God.
hall. Yeah.
I thought it was
Okay.
going to end there, and I don't know. I didn't know what I was going to do about it.
I remember
I just,
one of when I appeared in my exam. It's happens sometimes. That doesn't it happens. I have a friend. He's now a doctor in Australia, and for
okay.
him, actually, when he appeared in his exam, so he when just about to submit, just 15 minutes before his submission, I mean, he was just about to finish. Suddenly, everything is gone from the screen.
Oh
Now
my
he is
God.
shocked. Yeah. Now
I was
they said, "Don't
experiencing
worry."
something very similar, doctor. I was
Yeah. So
experiencing something
so
very
then
similar.
he was mentioned that okay, we'll fix it. So he was sitting and okay, he was thinking, okay, at least I get some rest. At least maybe there was like maybe 10 questions was left. So he feel like okay, I'm getting some rest. He was thinking. So suddenly thing happens after 1 hour. They came and he said like, "Is it okay?" Says sorry, we cannot recover it. What do you mean by you
Oh
guys
my
can't
God.
recover it?
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, all these thing you attempted are gone. So
Oh
then they
my
said,
God.
sorry, we don't have any slots, so you have to come again. So I came from it, and he came from another country. He was from Bangladesh. He went to India.
Oh,
So he said like, this is the last day, because usually we tell that okay, if try the last day. we said like, this is November and the next is be in the February. I cannot go and come after 3 months. Please do it anything in any way. They said no, office time is finished in Australia. We can't do so, and they're not going from there actually. His wife was also there. She was also doctor. She's also in Australia now by finishing AMC as well. So both were like very like, they're not leaving the room. Then they make some calls and emergency. They waited for another 1 hour. Then he was told, now you have to appear in the exam again actually. So now after finishing 3 hours, he appeared again 3 hours. Then, exam finished. He said, what I answered, I don't know, but he passed actually. Like, so, but so things can happen. Yeah.
Yes, things can happen. And I'm so grateful that it ended so well.
Ended so well, yeah. So maybe you did some good work. Your parents and things, they also did good work actually, and pray for you. Some lot of prayers behind you.
Yes,
after this thing,
absolutely,
this is the thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that is great actually. So let's hear from, let's invite 2 more. Thank you, Dr. Suresh, for sharing this. Next time, if this happens with another doctor, I'll give you your example that in that case. Maybe I can invite Dr. Naila and Dr. Nazia together, if you can be online for a second. Yeah, or any other.
Hello, Bhaiya.
Hello, Dr. Naila. Yes, very familiar person to me. Yeah, meet before, I think, as well. Yeah.
First of all, congratulations to everyone who cleared
this. Yes, everyone here. Yeah, we can congratulate everyone because everyone here passed. I mean, whoever attending here, everyone passed. So that's.
I would like to congratulate to everyone who did this because I know how much terrible experience for the last.
And I saw you, I mean, working very hard, in the forums, groups, you were in, I mean, everywhere that time. So, so double congratulations for that. And, the groups are also get enriched.
Actually, I remember the day on July, maybe I was having a chat with you on the messenger, and you said something that clicked me so much that it was like a boosting point for me because I was so much lost at that time. So much struggle
after having the kid, I think you were a bit lost. I think that time, it's difficult to adjust. It's difficult for anyone to adjust having new member in the family.
No helping hand this year, so I am totally alone in this country. So it was like so much struggle for me for the last couple of years. And at that time, you were the only person who like boosted me all the time. And that the turning point, maybe I decided that I have to do it. It was like a do or die for me.
Yeah, do or die. Now see it's done actually. And also congrats to your husband as well, because we met personally. I mean, at my residence, I remember.
And he likes you a lot. Maybe for rather than me, he always asks about you that what about what he is doing nowadays, or how he's doing.
How things are actually. Yeah, it feels familiar. Yeah, it feels familiar actually. Yes, that's good actually. That's life.
Like for the last couple of months, my family, my husband, especially my kid, he suffered a lot. Like he was so deprived. And
I mean, I can add something. I remember, I mean, a few years back, another doctor that I was telling her, see, whatever the thing is, I mean, sometimes we go in hardline with the candidates. I know, see, I'll not talk to you further. I mean, unless you take exam date. Now she take exam date. Now she told like, this is problem, there's kid, what to do. So, okay, tell someone, I mean, call someone from home. But the reality, it is not always possible for parents to also fly always from country. Now, about her husband gave some hands and he took like 20 days, the holiday break. They use it, he's so nice. So he used it for her, okay, like he mentioned that, okay, this year we will not go to country, but I can use those holidays for you. So he sacrifices those 20 days holidays, and But she said, like, in spite of husband's sacrifice and all this thing, the painful moment was because when she was studying or doing the group discussion, the kids become more alert, when you are not around, to be honest,
Exactly.
right? Other time, might not finding they're playing, they're watching cartoons and other things, but if you're not around somewhere, so she mentioned that, she could hear that, where is mommy, please call mommy, but she was discussing. So she said, good moment came as that, the passing, but the another painful moment was the kid was like looking for like this whole 1 month, so the kid was like in a torture shell, because the kid was always used to
Yeah,
his
yeah.
mom, right? Yeah.
Very
So this
true.
is,
It
yes.
was a pain for me also because I am depriving him every day for last couple of months. So feeling that I have to do it anyhow, I have to finish it
Anyhow, yes, yes. That's the
because I
spirit.
can't linger it anymore. It's gonna be a like a hell for me if I do it more and more.
Do or die,
So
actually,
that was
because in any way life is miserable. See, like, and one thing I can tell you, there are two group of people. One, they do it, there's many, they look up to me, they came to academy. Yeah, passing rate is good, but there are few doctors as well, they never attempt later. There are few actually like that,
yeah.
actually. So I mean, they give up the AMC totally, especially in those countries. Okay, like they start having feeling. And let me tell you this, the dangerous thing of life, like, even though compromising the life, thinking that, okay, I'm in Australia, I may have a secure life, my husband might be having a better job, I may do some additional thing, not doing as a doctor job. At a certain point, because since I have been teaching for a while, I also sometimes exchange messages with them. They're so sad. I mean, very depressed now. I mean, and they said like now sometimes I say, okay, you can still start now, but they said now it's 5 6 year past. Like, like they're not totally into, like, and the kids are going to school now. Now it's very different mindset. But back,
Really frustrating. I can feel their pain because
yeah,
I am also a mother. So with the
yeah,
kid without helping hand,
yeah.
it's not easy at all to clear this kind
Not
of.
easy, not easy. Yes.
So, but
Yes.
I'm really grateful to you, Bhaika. I am really
No,
grateful
you did.
for
No,
your
you did
guidance.
all good hard work. Our job is to take classes and motivate, but
No,
especially those with the
but
kids, it's very
motivated
difficult job.
me. I can see that you motivate every person, every single student, you know about everyone, and this is a unique, I think, because I haven't seen any
Mhm.
mentor that they are
No.
personally asking,
Uh, yeah, I mean,
boosting up. It's
see,
a,
no,
I think,
in clinically, see, knowing personal history of patients are very important. So, yes, so that's important actually from anyone's prospect. It helps, like when you go to
but
the real life and dealing with the.
you will be blessed. Actually, I want to say I always pray for you from my
Hopefully,
heart.
I'll go to heaven someday because of all of your prayers.
A
Let's just hope on
person
that one. Yeah.
who help others.
So
So
yeah, I'll try
you
my best. Try my best. Yeah.
thank you
Yeah.
so much for
No worries.
it.
Yes. So we'll get back to Dr. Naila, and there are some other candidates we'll also talk in between. But
Yeah.
let's just thank you, Dr. Naila, and let's start the session. And time to time we'll also hear some, like Dr. Anika and others are there, so we'll also hear from them. But let's just start few things and take from that thing that those are in Australia and especially now having some gaps. What to do in that case, actually, right? Before that one, there's a very common video. Often we use it for the classes. So let me play that one for you guys. Just give me a second. I'm taking out my screen just for a second, just to play that video. I'm going to play that one. Then we'll start telling like what to do next year. So here we go. So this is about, like, we'll talk about the gap things as well, but let's just see this video. Maybe you played it, but there's some points to be highlighted. So this is like a trailer video, the main one I'm going to tell very soon actually. So let me know if you can hear the sounds as well in the video. Okay, so here is a little thing, and I'll hold this thing like example to pass. Passing both part is appreciated, but with MC1 you can still apply for job. So in this today's session we'll also talk about that one, that in which way, under which like registration you can apply after the MC1 and who are eligible actually. And this is also very important because why this session's motive is because some doctor waste time after MC1 because they are not really have that criteria to get a job now. So then without going for MC2, they are doing injustice to them, right? So that point we'll also talk about. Let's just move forward with the video. Okay, now this thing, like, these are rough things, as you all can see, like medical officer job, you can manage actually with 2-3 years of experience. I have seen people getting job with 1 year, 1.5 years of experience. Now it depends on if you're a fresh graduate, you suddenly can't bring 2 years of experience. So for them, like, 1 year, 1.5 year experience, that can be also fine. See, job interview is about selling yourself, like, how much you are enthusiastic, how much you want, how much you knock the HR, how much campaigning you tried. These all things matters. One doctor who shared this thing with me, she mentioned that, doctor, tell all the candidates one thing, try to apply maximum job. Yeah, that, maximum application. Yeah. So maximum number of form you need to fill, maximum number of application you need to do. So this is one doctor, that's as a feedback. So sometime when you guys will be doing job, see, it's not impossible that you can secure a job in next 1 year. So now it also looks like dream that you finished MC1. You can also keep that dream that you will get a job very soon. It could be the MC1, it could be the MC2. All right, so but it is always doable. I mean, you just need to remain focused on that. I was seeing some of the previous students' profile, who are like, say, students of 2017, 16, 18. I figured out that most of them are working now in Australia. So that's very interesting. So it's about just a time. So those have those patients, they actually in the system. So this I'm telling you that, initially it might look hard, but eventually if you keep trying, you will be eventually in the system actually, right? You need to understand one thing, this is not as similar system as UK. UK is going through some crisis. So they are taking more doctors. That's a different thing, but salary is also very low and different things are there actually. All right. So Australia's system is a regular system, like a recruiting the fund. Same like USA might be even more complicated some cases because they have a matching system. Australia does not have a matching system. You can directly apply by application. You can send directly to the HR. Also, there are JMO campaigning. Okay, so we'll talk about that one very soon, JMO campaigning. But this is the main point, that for medical officer job, you need this kind of experience. For GP job, you need 5 years of experience, and now you have to give in another exam named PACE. Okay, so through the PACE exam, you can, so you need to give the PACE exam. Once you get a job offer, you need to give the PACE exam. Okay, it has some similarity with MC clinical, but it is not same. Of course, it's quite a different in that way. Individual cases, you need to know a lot more in PACE exam. Okay. Very important, enhancing your CV. It's very important, networking, to be honest. All right. So pausing the video again, some CPD courses can be very useful. Now, if you guys have seen, I have a video channel, and in video channel there are a lot of albums. So you will find one album, about the recruitment. a lot of interview question, and also some of the questions can be related to CPDs. So that CPD related thing, you can see that there are a lot of links are given in down bottom. Or otherwise, you can search. Let me tell you a keyword: CPD, CPD for Doctors Australia. Okay, if you can also search by this name. Actually, you will find a lot of. If you don't add the word Australia, and if you are outside Australia, they will start showing different things to you. If you're inside Australia, if you just type CPD doctors, you'll get those websites actually. Okay, the ThinkGP can be a good option, yeah, for doing the CPDs. And yeah, but there's many others actually that is available. A lot of things are free. I'm telling you, a lot of CPD things are free. Next one thing is it same thing, CPD and observership? It's not same. Observership, for example, Liverpool Hospital, right, in Sydney, then Blacktown Hospital, they offer a certain observership. Now your job, if you are already in Australia, you should definitely walk into those hospitals. Like, we don't just think, okay, you are applying online. See, show your faces to the hospitals. So sometimes go to hospitals and try to contact them. That and resume you can always keep in email. Even if you go in person, the resume you have to give by email eventually. Okay, so but if you walk into some hospital, that's better. If you know someone already in the hospital, that's all even more better. They can introduce you with the right person. Okay, so this is important. One doctor's statement I'm telling you here, previously one I mentioned as a feedback, that tell all your doctors that apply maximum applications. Second, another doctor who also passed this information, when you guys will get job, you will also pass me this information, like what's the suggestion for future candidates. So one doctor mentioned that doctor must tell all your doctors, if possible, do an observership. I said, I know the reason, but can you explain why it's useful for you? She said that, I get to know a lot of contacts that time. And she managed to get the job in the same hospital where she was. Yeah. So that's the thing. So for her, it was a little different. She finished the both part and then she went for the observership. I also know some other doctor, they finished MC1 and then they went for observership. Because she was MC2 cleared already, she has good CV and she was matched with that hospital later on. Okay, so this is how the things work in Australia. So you can also apply. Then Monash, Austin Health, these are also popular for this observership. Observership usually it's for 1 month. Many are free, some can be paid as well. Actually, if it is paid, I saw with one doctor it was like I think 700 Australian dollars for 1 month. I saw that one with one doctor, showed me that letter actually, from one hospital. I cannot mention the name of the hospital for security purpose, but it will be approximately kind of like that. Okay, if it's not free one, yeah. Observership actually. So it depends on a lot of contacts and all these things actually. It depends on your supervisor and all these things. Otherwise, you will be charged like 700 to 800 Australian dollars. All right, let's move forward with that one. I'll take your questions later. Yes, observership helps getting into Australian hospitals more faster. All right, so another tip here, like if you're just finished internship, like for example, Dr. Kobe, Dr. Anna, they are just finished and maybe planning to. So suggestion would be that at least 1 year or 1.5 years. See, suggestion, if you don't have experience, you don't have to feel sad. It is the best suggestion. You start thinking about AMC2 in your game, and by this time you start taking some some kind of experiences from the hospitals. Actually, you see, some doctor asked me, doctor, what if I do 48 hours shift, clinic jobs? Will they count it? Of course, they will count it. Okay, anything which has paper, but make sure you don't go to that kind of hospital which does not have even exist in the websites, or does not have they cannot provide you papers and things like that. Make sure at least you go to a hospital which has at least something in the websites. All right, like make sure that's that thing. It does not need to be a very posh hospital or medical college hospital. It can be a clinic, but make sure it has like a example, a Facebook page or maybe a website, or at least if you search, it comes in the, yeah, so you know what I mean actually. So some hospitals, private, you can also work in that way. A lot of hospital offers emergency, and especially there are like 24-hour shifts. During COVID, it was very common. I mean, doctors just go for even like in 15 days, they were working for 4 days and then there was no duty. You can also choose shifts like that. Okay. Let me tell you, emergency jobs are more appreciated because in Australia, they offer more emergency jobs actually, like junior medical officer or emergency medical officer. These are the two jobs that is highest number that is offered. When if you search with JMO campaigning, you will find more actually. How the campaigning things are going on, different time, different state campaigns goes on. Sometimes Sydney, I mean, they don't say Sydney, they say New South Wales campaigning, Victoria campaigning. Now get familiar with these words like Victoria campaigning, New South Wales campaigning, Queensland campaigning, Western Australia campaigning, okay, Tasmania campaigning, Darwin campaigning. So this is how those things goes on. Okay, so different time period throughout the year, different campaigning goes on. And for the HR is always on. You can always approach a HR. I know even doctors who even didn't pass MC, they have contacted HR and HR has given them positive response. Okay, finish one and then come and join. So a lot of things, especially in the peripheral side. Remember, in the peripheral side, a lot of things depends on the HR. They can give you a job anytime. So depends on the demand and your caliber actually. Okay, so here's few informations for all of you. So the best suggestion here, if you can do 2 years of experience from your country, for fresh graduates is maybe 1.5 year, 2 years of experience from the home country, and 1 month of observation in the Aussie hospital makes your CV best CV. Okay, so this is, you can keep it in mind. If you're investing for MC1, MC2, and if you have someone in Australia, don't hesitate to go there and stay there for a month and do an observership if necessary, even if you're living in the country. Or you can also, if you can manage, go for the exam for MC2 and then do the observership. Okay, so it's all about managing. It may not be that easy, but if you get a chance for observership, don't miss it. Okay? So this is very, very important. Without MC1, they usually don't give the observership. Sometimes some doctor asks without finishing MC. When we don't finish the MC1, even no more ideas just comes in our mind. So that time it is very important that you catch with those things. Right? So summary here, like 2 years of experience and 1 month of observership, that is highly recommended from my side, like because you have home and you have away, like like a football match, home and away. It's like that nowadays. Otherwise, CPD you can add. Okay. So I will hold here this thing that if you want to know more about how to get a job in Australia, I have video especially on these things like limited registration Australia. I mean, all you have to do limited registration and type my name Sharir Ahmed, you'll find that video directly. So limited pathway or limited registration Australia, post-graduation Australia, then also type my name. So you'll find those videos, or otherwise you can directly go to my channel and see those videos. Specialist pathway is a total different thing. We are not going to discuss it here. And I think no one is a specialist here, I hope so. Yeah. So these are the few basic things actually. Let's move forward. Yeah, this is one point that I got this question many times. Staying in Australia, is it give me extra benefit? Answer, it is true, most cases. If you're inside Australia, that might give you added benefit. But if you are not in clinical, if you're not having clinical experience, you may not get that benefit actually, right? So those living in Australia, and if you have clinical gap, it is highly recommended get a 3 months of at least experience from the home country. Many did that and they saw the changes later in the CV. Okay, so this is one of the very important thing. If you're in Australia for 3 years, you are not working, you, my dear, need a 3 months of extra experience. It's very, very important in that case, right? So staying in Australia can give you benefit, but at the same time, if it's more than 3 year, then again, that's a negative point. Right? Another question we got, can we secure a job if I don't have a PR? You can definitely secure a job. The job thing always does not come with the PR. That is not true. Can give you some added benefit, but it's not like most of the, let me tell you statistics, most of the doctor who secure job does not have PR. All right, so that's one of the points. But during COVID, we saw more doctors secure job who living in Australia. Even in past, I mean, if we see the ratio, like those live in Australia, of course, you know more connections if when you're inside Australia. So that makes sense in that way. But if you keep searching of your own lot of things, take help from friends, ask a colleague, ask some seniors from the batches. If you maintain some connections, you can also get there actually. I know a hospital like in just few months back, like, I got a call. So interestingly, all of them are working. I mean, somehow they get from academy. So when they came and start talking, they figured out that all from my academy. So they made a call actually. So it was very interesting for me. So everyone was saying, yeah, I can, looks familiar, everyone. So say, yes, you all are from the same academy, and they all, get the job after AMC 1, interestingly. But I can add one thing, that their CV, all of them had some experience. They all were from Ahmedabad area, India, and they recommend each other. So this is very important that, when you get a job, don't just forget your fellow brother and sister. It should not be like always country specific. It can be anyone. But it always comes naturally, if someone from country or someone who is a close friend, people do recommend actually. So when you get a job, try to recommend some others as well. It's always possible, because in Australia, they value the recommendation actually, because you are working sincerely. That means you know a friend who passed the MC, they'll give you value for that one. Okay, so if any friend of yours is working already, you can also ask them for recommendation, or at least set a request in that way. When there is a vacancy, please let me know. So people are busy, people forget things. So thing is, you need to remind them. Sometimes, our approach has to be little disturbing. That's okay. But forgetting success is important sometimes, right? Moving on with the video. Yeah, if you're not getting job after 3 months, 4 months past, don't give up. Just keep applying job in Australia. This year, if you don't get matched, next year you'll get matched, or next year at some point you'll get matched. Okay, if you don't get a job in your first interview, don't get sad. You may have to give a lot of interviews, and that is reality. Most of the people who get a job has gone through a couple of interviews actually. Understand, your close ones are also your competitors in this case, but doesn't mean that you will not give recommendation to your friends actually. Okay, so let each other know, so that you guys get the maximum number of interviews. So work on that one, guys. Work as a team. You guys can make a group of your friends and things, or I'm sure you have a lot of recall groups and the things. So those well, you guys can make a separate group, and if any interview comes out, you as a team work and try to find out interview questions and things like that. A lot of interview question I put in the video channel. There is album interview and e-recruit. That's the album name. You'll find a lot of interview question. Few basic questions are very common. Where are you from? Why you want to join this hospital? What's your specialty? Which subjects you like? What brings you in Australia? They'll ask you an ethical question. They'll ask you an emergency management. These are basic things actually for every interview actually, and some hypothetical thing. They'll put you in situation. Question looks easy but difficult to answer. They'll put you in situations like this. Okay, so don't give up, keep applying jobs in Australia. And don't forget about the CPDs. Okay, now here's the important part. Few job sites. You see, Indeed. Some people ignore the Indeed. See, but Indeed has the most biggest, collection. All right. There's another very nice one. Metsjob.com. There can be more actually. If you type with Doctors Job Australia, there'll be more will pop up in front of you. But these two are popular, so you can always search and subscribe it, so that any relevant, especially example, if I say Indeed, if you're applying for the doctor's job, if there is any next doctor job, they will email in. Okay, so you can always look into that one. So make a profile today with the Indeed.com and also the Mets job. Yeah, this one. So in both case, you need to make profiles and all this case. Do remember, you need two referees. You need two referees actually for every job you are applying. You need two referees actually. Some people also ask this thing: is referees should be from Australia always? No, it's not necessary. But if you can do an observership and put an Australian referee, that might give added benefit, added value to your CV. Okay, well, everyone trusts, if someone they know from the home country, right? It's very natural actually. But many I saw get matched with the observer from the home country. Say example, if someone from India, they can give any consultants. Like you can give your teacher as a referee, like say medical college, maybe everyone has favorite teacher, they also like you, so try to make them your referee would be better, because they will try to make sure you don't give the things to such people who does not check their email. I'm talking about respectfully about some very senior professors. Some very senior professors in our countries we have seen, they're not much familiar with the checking the emails regularly and the things. Actually here it is different. Even senior professors, they check email. So it is very important you give their personal email, actually not their work email always. Yeah, so it is very, very important. They check because they send you a long questionnaire. Yeah, so I have filled up for few, but so I know it takes at least 20-25 minutes to fill up a questionnaire. So make sure your professor is not that kind of busy professor. So some associate professor, these things will also work. It doesn't matter. Okay, but make sure the person check their email actually. To be honest, when they send a email to your referee, they also send an email to you that your things in under progress. So that time you can be also alert and tell the referees to double check. Yeah, the same websites. You can also search with JMO campaigning. Yeah, I'm telling this thing because some doctor asked it actually. Can we apply for NZRX? Yes, you can. With MC1, you can also apply for New Zealand as well, directly the NZRX exam. That's the final. They have only one exam, they don't have part 1. So it's called NZRX exam. You can also apply that one. Very interesting thing, let me tell you, like those who are in New Zealand during the COVID period, they all got citizenship. The PR. That was, a bonus for some people actually. Yeah. So anyways, one more thing, if anyone from New Zealand and watching this video now or later, then here is the thing. There is no such separate preparation for New Zealand exam. Mostly people follow all the AMC guidelines and the things. Stations are also kind of similar. Only difference is you will get 2 minutes extra for the New Zealand exam. Like in AMC part 2, we have like 8 minutes of stations, like for talking, 2 minutes outside, 8 minutes inside. For New Zealand as well, like 2 minutes outside the door, 10 minutes inside the door. Okay, so this is like the basic difference. Okay. Anyways, I mean, if this video you find helpful, you can also share later with your friends. Okay. Now let's coming back to the thing which we were discussing, taking away the screen for a second and bring that slide which I wanted to show you. Just give me a second. Now I'll take a few questions from you guys, like before I proceed further with the slides. Any questions? I'll also definitely hear from another one to doctor. Yeah, maybe you can hear, like, just to make the things a bit more easy. Maybe I can ask Dr. Anika and Dr. Anam to be online if it's okay, if they're available.
Walaikum, Dr. Shariar. I was actually waiting to talk.
How are you?
I'm good, Alhamdulillah. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much, actually. So how are you feeling?
I'm really happy. And
great.
It's been a month, so it's still fresh. So
yeah,
I've been
you passed in the February. Your exam was in February.
Yeah. So I did apply for a few jobs as an ED locum, but
Good.
in Sydney, it's harder to get the jobs, especially with the limited registration.
Yes.
So I got a few, I got one which said that I applied through seek.com. I got one which said unlikely to progress, and one that didn't. It's just viewed by the employer and it's just sitting there, and some didn't even go through the employer. And I just landed a job as a medical receptionist, and I was wondering if that's going to count as a medical receptionist.
This is a technical point. I have a slide on that album regarding that. You can give an explanation on that one. It will not count it as a, of course, you can understand it's not a clinical job directly, but minimizing the gap, you can explain that, you were with something which is related to the field. Example, teaching, the receptionist in the medical, and there's another, I think, nursing. There are few things you can at least give some explanation. I was with some relevant field actually, okay, but it will not minimize your gap, but rather than give an explanation, all of these things actually.
So if my, my boss is a general practitioner, right? So if he gives a recommendation that I performed in a few clinical procedures, would that count? Because today he asked me if I can do basic venipuncture and stuff. So he has a lab as well.
But in that case, you need an observership paper. Technically, I mean, you need a reference paper that you are allowed to do it. The permission paper will be required for that one. Even if it's a receptionist job, there has to be a separate paper that with his supervision. This word has to be counted. That with his supervision, that you did, and so it has to be a letter. You know how Australian system works. Everything should be documented. So they can give things in that way. The doctor was performing few things under his supervision in that way. That will then count. Yeah.
Okay, so I can apply for that.
Yeah, and do one thing. Make him your referee.
Yeah. He will become a referee. He's a great doctor, and he's like super friendly. So another question I wanted to ask is, you know how Blacktown Hospital, you asked that we can walk in to drop our CVs? Can we do that, like on paper-based CVs?
I mean, walk in to show your face, drop the CV by email.
By email, okay.
Yeah.
So they offer observerships, right?
Yes, Blacktown, Liverpool, Monash, Austin Health, North something hospital in Melbourne. Lot of hospital offers for observership. And also, if you see that album in my video channel, there are some hospital which is called IMG friendly.
Right.
No, I mean, and IMG friendly, it sounds a little racist word. It means actually, there is a chain group of or Asian doctors are there. And when get recommended, also an Asian doctor is coming mostly. So in that way, it's IMG friendly. It doesn't mean that in other hospital they don't take the Asian doctors, but the number of Asian doctors are more into those hospitals because one Asian doctor is recommending another Asian doctor. That's why it's sometimes we call it IMG friendly. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is an unaccredited training?
Yeah, unaccredited training. I'll give you a list at the end of the session about unaccredited. That's a little, difficult, like accredited and unaccredited training. I mean, see, if you go for some job, in that case, some are accredited, some are unaccredited, actually. Okay. So accredited means, you can use them for your, further development. That means accredited. Like, say, example, for getting the PR, you need those accredited training.
Right.
I mean, in simple word is that actually, or to get the registration, you need those accredited training. Yeah, I hope you all must be knowing that in order to get general registration, you have to finish AMC2 at certain point and do some training. So that time, some trainings are accredited and unaccredited, actually. That's a very big field, actually, to be honest, and not as simple as I'm telling. So try to do the accredited ones. Like there are some are medicine training, some are surgery training. That's why some people even left the hospital in the middle of the training, because they said that they're not getting the relevant accredited training on that relevant subject. Some hospital don't have, every hospital don't have that accredited training on every subject. Okay, so example, one hospital has accredited training on medicine. They may not have the accredited training on pediatrics. Then what will you do? You will continue the pediatrics there because you have to finish the rotationship. So that time, some people change the hospital and they do that accredited one, because everyone is after getting the general registration. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, so that's how, this accredited, non-accredited. You can also Google it, or you can check it in the AFRA. Actually, I'll try to make a video on that one, accredited, and it's made a nice point on that one. Yeah, take a note. Accredited, non-accredited. Yeah. All right. Any questions from anyone? Thank you for sharing your experience, and great. You did great job. Dr. Anam is here, I guess. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Dr. Sharia.
Thank you.
First of all,
yes.
Congratulations to everyone.
Everyone here, yes.
And thank you so much, sir, for your help and for
No worries. Very happy moment, when everyone is happy, I feel, the vibe. Yes. Yeah. So that's great, actually. So exam was difficult for you, or I mean, exam day I'm talking about.
Basically, this AMC journey was a really lumpy, bumpy kind of ride for me.
Bumpy. Yes.
Yeah. Basically, I started my AMC preparation last year in July, but I wasn't really able to study due to the hyperemesis gravidarum, and then I really took a break, and I seriously started studying for this exam like in November, and then in December I came to know about your recall course, and I thankfully joined that course, and I think that was the best decision.
Yeah, thanks. There's a word, all swell the ends well. Yeah, the thing is the all swell the ends well. That's so that's the thing. Because end of the day, the success that also matters, actually. And while getting this success in between, you will get to know also a lot of people, actually. So during MC journey, you'll also, I hope you meet a lot of people. And they will be also your friend in later half of your life, actually, because in Australia, if you go, you don't have always that much number of friends. So the friends you are also making during AMC journey, they will be also friend later, actually. Okay, because doctors are very comfortable around the doctors, actually. So so try to keep good connection also with them, those who are your study partners. And also it's very important for future connections, actually, like what your friend is doing, ask them what you are doing, also share it to them, actually. But one thing I'm telling you, if you share your views on a job, you went to this interview, it didn't work, I think this is the reason it didn't work. If you share that one, your friend will also share, then in that way you all will learn. Okay, rather than is another group, no one shares any information, they are getting a job interview and things, but that's a very big loss. You see, the another person is just getting few interviews, but you guys are a group of people, so you guys are getting more interviews by letting each other know, and also sharing the fault, what went wrong in your interview, so you can do the meta-analysis later. that, what went wrong in that interview actually. Many times we went to interview, we thought, okay, it's maybe perfect, but it is not. Okay, yeah, it needs some luck, definitely, or maybe there is a more potential candidate than you are not chosen because there's a much better candidate than you actually. So so don't blame yourselves, just try to be better with time. Yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah, and also apply everywhere, city, periphery. Don't hesitate with your first job. Your first job, no matter even if it is given in the moon, go there and do that job. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's the thing. One doctor called me, doctor, I got a job in Darwin. Should I go? What are you talking? You should go, definitely. Yeah, because the person was living in Sydney, so family things. No, it's first job. Please don't miss it. Yeah, very, very important. The first job. It doesn't matter anywhere. It's just a sacrifice of 6 months. Your family can also adjust in that way, but don't miss it. Even if it is periphery. Yeah, even the most remote place. Don't worry. Everywhere there are good communication in Australia. You can find a flight. You can find flights are very cheap in Australia. Inside Australia, the flights are very, very cheap. So no matter, even if you're in a remote place, all you need to find a nearest airport. Actually, that's all you need. Yes, and make sure those of you are in country, make sure you know how to drive. Okay, try to get that driving license. You'll thank me later for that. Yeah. All right. And anything you'd like to add, Dr. Anum, in your exam? Anything at the last moment? How to handle the last 30 minutes? I mean, different people. I'm asking different question. How to handle the last 30 minutes?
So basically, exam was like I was really nervous, and I felt like it was a bit difficult for me doing the time management, especially.
Okay, so okay, time management. Yeah. Okay.
So this time, because I felt that the stems were a little bit long, and it was taking me some time to read the.
So I would like to ask one thing. Does mock helps? I mean, some mocks are also conducted by Tanmay sometime with the timer. So hopefully those mocks also helps. I mean, I would recommend also, like, or want to ask others, like, for time management, what you guys were doing? I mean, spontaneously first time in the exam, or you were practicing something with the question banks or anything? Anyone can also add here or in the chat box. Maybe I can recommend that one too. Oh, if that time in part actually. Okay. So Dr. Bashir, maybe we can just talk for 2 minutes before you leave. Sorry, I didn't see the message for Dr. Bashir. Yeah. Oh, I think she left. I think. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Is it that time? Okay. Yeah, mock is good for time management. I also feel that mock is good for time management. Actually, at least 1 or 2 mocks. Definitely, we all should check before going to the exam. It always gives you some kind of good idea, actually, especially time management. This is something we cannot teach in the classes because the whole exam is like a 3-hour exam. So unless you give a 3-hour exam, it's difficult to make you understand, how does it feel, especially with the time management. Yeah. So any further question, Dr. Anum? I mean, for me,
I want to ask one question for you. Basically, sir, I have recently finished my training in HCPS Ops Gynae from Pakistan, but I haven't appeared in that.
How many years?
4 years of experience.
Oh, that's a whole 4 or 5 years experience.
So,
okay,
sir,
that is fantastic.
Want to ask, should I go for the specialist pathway first, or should I start with the standard pathway and later on switch to the specialist pathway?
Did you finish the whole FCPS yet? I mean, the full.
So I haven't appeared in the exam. Basically, I will be appearing in the FCPS exam in August this year.
I think you should try this. I mean, the either short-term specialist, or better you try the standard actually. Yeah, specialist pathway, a lot of, even big short consultant, they also don't get matched. Lot of things they ask from the Asian countries doctor, which is not covered, in their training program. Like FCPS also has a training program which does not cover a lot of things actually, unless you have some training in UK and things like that. It really tough to get the full match actually. So sometime it is possible to get a short term actually for a special, but in your case, I think since you didn't clear the exam yet, it will be difficult. I mean, it's not possible to apply for at this point. So at this point, if you want to apply, I mean, the main suggestion would be for me to get a job quickly in Australia and enter in their system. The more early you will enter, the early you start earning. That's the basic. The early entering in Australia, early start earning. That's like an investment. So if you start doing the job early, then by the end of the year, you'll make more revenue. That's very important. And it will be a plus point for you in that case if you try with this standard. You know, the boxing matches, and let me give you an example. Boxing matches, do you have idea? There are a lot of categories, like the 65 kg, there is 60 kg, you know, there's a lot of categories. Now, someone who is not winning in 65 category, okay, so in that case, but they're more powerful, you know, boxers, example. Sometimes they do what? They lose their weight and they come to the 60 kg category, or I'm just taking it as an example, or 70 kg category comes into 65, and then they win the. So that's the view I want to put for you, that your category wise, you may not the best boxer. Are you getting me, Dr. Anu? Your category wise, you may not the best boxer here, because there are a lot of other consultants there who already finished and working. They have a lot of publications and a lot of experiences even in abroad. So compared to them, you may not the best boxer. But if you came down your category to standard, maybe compared to a lot of other, you are much better boxer. You understand my point? And now you will have more chances to secure a RMO job or even a registered job. Okay, so try that one. I know a Dr. Reena. So she had like 18 years of experience even as a consultant. She tried from India but didn't work. I met her, you know, also in when went to Sydney and we do a little get together. So she then shared that one to me, that, you know, even despite having 18 years of experience in India and very good consultant even, but you know, it was not matching, unfortunately. So later she dropped that idea, but she applied as a, you know, registered post in gynae ops in a hospital in Australia, not mentioned the hospital name. So she, like, you know, then get matched very quickly. Okay, so now she's working there actually, and she's getting promoted more quickly than others because she has vast experience. Okay, so this suggestion may help you, I guess, you know, choosing. And you know, for you will be very good candidate even with MC1 because you have vast experience in gynae ops, and they also took a lot of doctors in gynae ops, by the way. Okay, so you can also try that one. Sydney, outside Sydney, Melbourne, a lot of places, you know, they need a lot of gynae doctors, so you can apply there. Okay, right.
So, sir, you are recommending me to first apply for the senior post, like the senior registrars or the registrars.
Yeah.
Post, like.
Yeah. You can apply that as well. Actually, depends on how many numbers of candidates. Yeah.
Okay. And sir, one last question: do you have any idea, like, can I switch from the standard to the specialist pathway once I get cleared from my FCPS?
No. Once you enter with the standard, I mean, there is no go back actually. I mean, when you're in the system, then, you know, you can apply for the specialist after going to Australia. But once you entered through the standard pathway through the system, I mean, it will be difficult to go back to specialist actually. And you know, personally, I would say, you know, you should not have that hope as a specialist in Australia. Okay, as in anyone who is an Asian doctor should not have that hope, because the success rate as a specialist is even less than 2%. I mean, and it's very expensive. Yeah, so it will be in Pakistani rupee. It will be at least like, I mean, in Australian dollar, it's like a $10,000. So you can understand. Yeah, and you know, they will just tell you as a yes or no. It's like, you know, in most cases it's a no. So a huge amount of revenue that can be wasted if you are not really sure. Especially in your case, I will say no, because, you know, you still haven't cleared the exam. So better you skip that one and save that money. You know, you can do that one for any observership or staying in Australia or anything. Yeah, that's the thing.
And sir,
Even you can even you can
term?
take a subject in Australia for say any clinical subject in Australia you can take as well. Like example, do you know there is a subject like pediatrics in Sydney University? Okay, so you can also invest there actually. Yeah, or any subject maybe related to gynae, you can also choose like that. Yeah, that will give added value, added benefit. Yeah.
Okay, sir. And sir, what is short-term specialist training?
Short term, you can see there is a video it's given, a short-term specialist pathway. I discussed about that one. Have you seen that video, specialist pathway, in my YouTube channel?
No, sir, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so you can just go to YouTube now and just type specialist pathway and just type my name. That video will come up immediately. Okay, so you see there I was discussing what are the different pathways for a specialist. The short term is also discussed there. You can check that one. Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shahriyar.
Thank you. Best wishes. Best wishes. Great. Yeah. And let me see who else. No, we haven't talked. Dr. Kavi Priya, I guess. Are you doctor? Or Dr. maybe Madhu or Dr. Nilochani, anyone who wants to speak? How is going in your side? Then we'll go with the slide. Okay, maybe later they will be available. Okay, let's go with the slide. Okay, so in this one, what to do after MC1? I mean, few quick tips that maybe popped up in front of you. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of you again for passing MC1 or who joined in late, passing MC1. Congratulations again. And few tips here. The tips are English test. Now, which English test? OAT, IELTS, PT. Guys, PT is very easy exam and you get the result immediately. Within 1-2 days you'll get the result, and it's quite an easy exam, to be honest, compared to the others. So if you ask me which one is easiest, I think PT will be easiest nowadays compared to OAT has raised its bar nowadays. It's no longer remain as easy like before. So that's one of the reasons I think PT will be better because it's applicable for Australia, but PT is not applicable for the UK. And anyone has plans for future again for UK or something like that, then you can better go with OAT. PT is only mostly accepted in Australia. Right. Now, job application, we were talking already about those websites. Another doctor mentioned about Seek.com. So indeed, Seek, Medico, those were the websites. And I'll give you some CV tips and things, will come up. Yeah. Okay, anyways, lot of animation. Okay, a few English tips here, actually. English test tips, actually, like, which one is easy, which one is... I like to clarify something first. Required for MC1, no. MC2, no. For job application, it is a yes. So if you're only talking about jobs, so some people have that feeling they have to give the English test because they're going for MC2. Now, some of you are fresh graduates, say Dr. Sophia, Dr. Prabhu, you guys are fresh graduate, you don't have much experience. So for your case, I think MC2 is more suggestive without wasting any time and knowledge. Why I use the word knowledge? Because with time, you start forgetting a lot of things. So it is always better you quickly, as you finished MC1, you finish the MC2 as well and try to do take some experience in between and don't think about the English test now. And maybe you have the English test, you would have get a job. I mean, it's not like that. You need a certain experience for Australia. Unless you are inside Australia, that could have been a little different. So it's better you try for a 1 year of job and then, by this time you finish the MC2 and then go for the English test. Yeah. So maybe a 1 more year would be highly recommended. Yeah, post-graduation Australia. One suggestion I can give you, Dr. Dikshit, that post-graduation Australia, if you type about this name, post-graduation Australia, and you type my name, we already have a video in my YouTube. You can check that one. I was talking about the FRS CGP. Okay, FRS CGP is for the GPs, and there is another pathway for the specialists actually. So those are the two different sites actually. FRS CGP. Mostly I saw people doing FRS CGP. Yeah, that's more quick, to be honest. Yeah. Those specialist pathway, it might take 7-8 years, to be honest. So my recommendation to all of you, if you consider for a post-graduation, consider for, that FRA-CGP. Okay, so that's more easier. You can finish it in 2 years, to be honest, actually. And you can be a full GP as a solo chamber things in the center of the Sydney. You can have your own chamber and the things, but that's for the GP side, FRA-CGP. For individual specialists in the hospital, it will take a lot of time. Just a suggestion. Okay, so my suggestion is PT is more quicker. If you're in hurry, also PT. PT is more computer based. Yes. Okay, job application. So job application, I hope so you have seen that video. I mean, initially, so these are the 2 YouTube videos we highly recommended to see. Can I work as a consultant in Australia specialist pathway? These are the titles in YouTube. You can search with this name, you can find it easily. And don't give up. And these are Indeed.com looks like. You can also try Indeed, Seek, and the others. Keep applying for jobs. This is another one. This is how its presentation page looks like. Yes, this is important. What are the positions like, while you are applying for a job? So JMO, Junior Medical Officer, SMO, Senior Medical Officer, Register, Consultants. Few terms get familiar: HMO level 2, HMO level 3. These are some of the positions will also offered actually. So your positions are mostly HMO level 2 because you have finished the internship. Can I seek very commonly asked? Yes, if you have experience, which I was telling, but you need to apply maximum hospitals and keep good connection with friends and HR is important. Okay, if you are worried about your clinical gap, this is one video I posted in my YouTube channel. This video is quite popular in YouTube. You can check this one. You can type as clinical gap for doctors. Then you type my name, Shahriar Ahmed, you will find that video. Otherwise, if you type only clinical gap for doctors, they will start showing even UK videos, which is not maybe relevant for you actually. So clinical gap for doctors, Shahriar Ahmed, then you type this name, you will find that video about the clinical gap where you will see I was doing meta-analysis of, if you have over 3-year gap, how to minimize that. This video will give you more clear idea. My 5 important personal tip about the job is work on your resume, apply for all JMO campaigning, right? And email, email to maximum hospitals. Keep emailing them to maximum hospital. Also, there is a thing, can you consider recruiting agency? We're not, like some of asked me, not very sure, about that one, how it works always. And many times people do complain they took money, but I'm not getting the job. So this is the thing. So it's your own risk. If you are going through any recruiting agency, it's totally on you. Actually, we don't recommend any recruiting agency, but there are recruiting agency that exists, right? That's the thing. If you ask me personally to recommend, I cannot do that because I cannot take any responsibility for that. Yeah. And very important is networking. So with friends, with HR, with seniors, everything. Networking, opening up is very, very important. Okay. Networking also means, you in person go to the hospital. If you're living in Sydney, go to the maximum hospitals. You'll see already some people, maybe they're working. Okay, not everyone posted in the Facebook. So when you go there, you'll go and see some from your home country are working. They'll give you personally, okay, go to that person, will be helpful because they're working there. They know some of the tricks. So in that way, it will be more useful. About AMC 2, it takes around 6 months to 8 months again, I would say, for the further preparation. Okay? So do not delay it much. If you are not very sure that your CV is not good enough for Australia, don't waste much time. That's my very important suggestion for all of you. Try to finish the AMC2. AMC2 nowadays also conducting online and also in Australia. I know a lot of doctors, like, last year, maybe you have seen, I posted something. Alhamdulillah, we do have good passing in MC clinical as well. And those doctors take the exam from the overseas. They've never been to Australia. They passed the MC2. Okay, so that's only possible due to this COVID actually. So yeah, COVID was bad, but in any way, it brings some good luck to some of the doctors in that way, because they cannot go to Australia. They were ready, I'm sure, for going to Australia, but they don't have to invest much actually. So they only invested, like, in that course actually, which is I feel is reasonable we take for MC2. So they just invested that, and they were, and we give the recordings as well actually. I'm more liberal in MC2, in terms of the giving recording, because I feel watching those videos are more important. In MC1, you need to finish more topics. Trust me, in MC1 syllabus is more sometimes. I mean, number of diseases, if we count, the syllabus is much bigger. In MC2, it's hardly you have to like finish 250 cases. So if you keep checking those videos, notes and all these things, I'll show it at a certain point. It's more than enough in that case actually, all right? Yeah, and all you need a very good set of friends and study group as you did in MC1, but here you need it more. That in a good set, I mean, they might be coming to your home and you guys do clinical practices. So that's usually more than enough if you do continuous practice with the cases role play and do some physical examination. In online based exam, you don't have to perform physical examination. That's another maybe a easy thing. Okay, only you have to explain the physical exam. That becomes very easy. How to examine the liver, if you have to describe, it's more easy rather than doing it. Okay, so work on your vocabulary. That's more important, that like, so that you can finish things smoothly in 8 minutes, right? Without any fumble, without you have to double think about choosing word. So choosing word will be very important. If you're not talking regularly, you should start working from now. Now, talk to everyone in English actually. If you're not always talking in English, then like, there's a word, eat English, sleep English, even while sleeping, you see English movies and the things. Yeah. So this is a tip, it might not be much significant for some people because they're very familiar in day-to-day life. But if you're always not familiar, now start thinking in that direction. All right. Very, very important. So that's for the MC2 will come later. And then there is another thing that is the, okay, in MC2 format phase preparation time. We have videos in our YouTube, but the format, as I mentioned, it's online based, and that other face-to-face based exam. Actually, we have 16 station. That's the thing. The exam fees is also just a bit more than MC part 1. It's like 3,000 something actually right now. So that's the thing. So make sure you pass again. The same thing, keep it in your mind. You have to finish it in one go. And last time, trust me, there's like 75% doctor from our academy, they finished in first go, whereas in MC2 passing rate is 20% only. Okay, so that's, we believe, is a very good success rate. In MC1 we have like almost 93%, 94%, but it is not possible in MC2. You can understand for certain reason. And we keep very low for our MC2. You see, how much we advertise for MC1. We don't do much for MC2 because if I do more advertising, more student will come. We know that compared to the quality and notes we provide. We keep it low. I just take like 35 to 40 approximately, that number. Whereas in MC1 we take like 100, 150, even 200 we have seen batches. It doesn't matter. It's one way. Sometimes it's enough. But in MC2, it is not a class about one way. In MC2, it's class about interaction. You have to turn on your video and you have to talk to me and other tutors. Other tutors like Dr. Koresh is there. She's a doctor in Australia. Dr. Limon is a doctor. So some expert doctors, we usually introduce for teaching, so that they time to time can give you right information. Actually, yes. So this is very, very important actually. Right? And of course, anyways. preparation time, it takes 6 to, clinical. Yes. So this was, I think, recent. I mean, few more also added in the name. Actually, they all interestingly pass in a single go. So that's very interesting. So it means it's quite a doable, right? It's quite a doable exam. So this was July to December, actually. MC2 was closed. I hope before July it was closed. Okay. Let's not go for this thing. We work on note a lot. Tremendously, what I figured out in MC2, people are using the same old note. I mean, some very old. I mean, a lot of correction required. Then we come up with our own notes. So that's another very big plus points, actually. Yeah. Great. So let's get into the pesky. Let's not talk much about the MC2. And our classes are normally Saturday and Tuesday based. And in MC1, it's like Sunday and Thursday based, and MC2. So you'll not feel much difference. If anyone comes and join, you'll not feel much difference in your life, actually. So it's like Sunday, Thursday, and here now Saturday, Tuesday, courses goes on like for 4 or 5 months again, actually. So it's kind of similar format. Fees is also kind of similar. So you'll not feel much. I mean, it's not like MC2, we charge more. We don't do that, actually. Great. PESCI is like something I'm not going to talk now. PESCI is an exam for the GPs, but you need to get the job offer first. So this is RSCGP and the RCOM. I mean, these are the two type of PESCIs that is available. Like, let's drop the idea, and I'll try to make a video on the PESCI in coming days in my YouTube. All right, but PESCI is another way, another exam for the GPs mostly. But you need a job offer for PESCI. And for that one, you need experience, actually. If you don't have like a certain experience, like 4 years, 5 years, it's hard to get a PESCI offer. Okay, so here is how it looks like in RSCGP about the PESCI. You can get more information from this linked website about the PESCI. By the way, PESCI exam is nowadays also taken online. Okay, so this is a good point. They use Zoom as well. So if you're familiar with Zoom, it's good for you. What is WBA? WBA is workplace-based assessment. This is to bypass the AMC exam, MC Part 2 exam. So for that one, you need to work in Australia first, actually. I'd say with MC1, if you work for 1 year, then you are eligible for WBA. So for WBA, I mean, yeah, there are a few criteria. It is called workplace-based assessment. I made a full video on workplace-based assessment in my YouTube channel. So please check those channels already. So, and there was one doctor who was in my MC2, but she was in WBA. So I asked her, why you came? She said like, no, because even in WBA, you have to also go through a lot of exam, and the cases are very similar to MC2. That's why she subscribed, and it was useful for her actually to deal with those WBA. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I hope you have, this is the video. So WBA, workplace-based assessment, and then just type my name, you will find that video. Okay, some CV tips. Okay, now CV related tips, and I'll take some question answer. Let me post a CV here for you guys. Okay, so I'm posting a CV, but you can just use the points from this CV actually. All right, so do understand you should have multiple CVs. Sometimes you need to make CV according to the state, according to the hospital, even you have to make a CV. You can understand a chef CV and doctor CV should not be the same, right? So, and a different area-wise CV can be different. So work on that actually. Okay, so I just dropped a AFRA CV format official here. I mean, these are the mandatory things has to be present. You can just click and download that one as well. Or you can also go to some websites to find that CV, yes. Okay. All right. Now, few things about there are more things. I mean, this is actually the session I just took. It's on actually first half of the session. So more advanced session usually in our course, there's like one HR and there's of course one tutor who like belongs to in Australia. So they took those session and when the clinical journey started. I mean, because in one session it is difficult to cover, but you got an idea. But more meta-analysis needed to be done on the CV covered, and especially this word selection criteria. Okay, so when you start applying a lot, you will understand why I'm talking about this selection criteria. Okay, so this is very, very important. So selection criteria, hospital, HR connections. So those are the things. So other doctors will talk and give you more idea time to time actually, but you need to start first actually. Otherwise, even if I talk now, nothing you will understand about selection criteria, hospital address, and those HR things actually. Okay, so these are also needed to be, you need to know. That's more important. I mean, CV I just give a format, but you need to keep working, keep working. Also, there are cover letter. Not all places you need cover letter. Some places you need cover letter, and of course, selection criteria. And very simple. You go to the JMO company, fill up those forms according to the selection criteria. That's more important actually, right? So when we start the sessions in institute and things like that, we took session on the CV and the selection criteria also separately. I mean, there's more meta-analysis because by that time you may apply 1-2 jobs, so you'll have more idea that time what we are talking about. Okay, so don't worry on that one. Happy to help for anything in future. Do let me know. I mean, for anything. And when you're applying, another information, when you're applying for job and the thing, if you need paper from me about like you are attending the course with SM, because we are a registered course actually, so you can also use that one. So you can use separately 5 months for MC part 1 and 4 months for MC part 2. If you're in Australia, this also gives explanation of our course actually. So far, I was never asked question by the Australian Medical Council, rather it got approved actually, both AMC and the GMC. Yeah, GMC means the General Medical Council in UK. It is also approved SMA. That's, I think many people don't know that one. So we don't have any problem actually, and it's very easy to search. Our search engine is also quite powerful. So when they try to find us, it's I think most easy to find us actually. So maximum cases they email us actually about the candidates. This candidate has belonged to you. So we just give away the information, and also we'll drop you information in that case. Right, so that's the thing. But do ask for that experience paper when actually you start applying for the job, because the recent paper is better as an experience actually. All right, so I think we are at the end actually, and I also have to go to pray, and we'll see you guys soon with in MC2 with some doctors, and we are having class from very soon in the end of this month, like 23rd of April. I'm not sure how many of you were there. Let me show you. Yeah, so this was our group. Yeah, so the March group was there. Let me show you. Let me drop that group link for you guys. So there's a trial classes. You guys can also attend trial week, we are calling it. So I'm just dropping the link here. Yeah, so it will be useful, and we'll talk more there actually, about relevant thing. And I'm also there to, if there is any suggestion and guidance, you can also drop me your messages in the messenger actually. Yes. So so anything, any last words you guys, I mean, want to add here for me? I mean, anything? Yeah. So yeah. All right. Yeah, you can try Dr. Anam. I think have a message. Yeah, you can try the GP. Yeah, fine, totally fine. We're eligible for GP as well. Even though if you have any experience, you're eligible for GP. Not a problem. Is there anyone who haven't talked? Dr. Madhu or Dr. Nilochani? Anything? Any word? I mean, how's your experience for the exam? All good. I mean, we have talked to some of our doctors initially. Dr. Nilochani, or that's all for us today. Or Dr. Madhu, anything? Okay. So anyways, I like to thank all of you, and yeah, if there is anything, we will soon catch you guys. Will catch me again in 23rd of April with a live class on AMC. Before that, you keep checking those information I just gave here. I'll try to drop a copy of this video later in the group. Okay? I hope so. That's useful actually. So thank you so much, guys. I have to go for prayer actually. I'm at UK now, so it's actually prayer time here. So thank you so much, guys. Best wishes. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And don't lose hope. Keep trying. You will be in your destination soon. Best of luck.